holidays, everybody. Whatever you celebrate, I hope you're having a great holiday, are staying safe with whatever your plans are. This video is going up on Christmas Eve. So we are hopefully going to plan a good Christmas Eve. And like I said, just hope everybody's having a great holiday season in general. This video is the top 5 things that I've loved doing with Bali. I probably have so much more because we go on adventures like all the time. But if I had to think of like the top 5 things, these would kind of be them. I kind of wrote them down and I feel like they're all in like a different category in and of themselves. So I can't really say one is better than the other because they're all kind of in separate categories. I will be showing clips or pictures of these events as I go through this. So unfortunately, I'm not going to dictate all of those because I'll be talking over them. But if you're able to see the photos, they are in there, and most of these photos are on my page somewhere. So if you search my page, you might find these photos with the actual like description of the photo and the event. So my top long trip with Bali, we've gone on many different long trips. Locally to the beach, we've gone to Utah and we've gone to California a couple times. And my favorite trip that was like longer than just a couple days was honestly our first trip to California. This one was very special to me. We did this spring of 2018. We had been together like 9 months or so. And we took a plane ride and we're gone for like 8-9 days. We had a full plan and I loved all of it. I got to see a lot of family and friends. My favorite part of this though was seeing my grandmother. At that point, my grandmother was 105 years old. Yes, 105 years old. She was ailing as a normal 105-year-old person would be, and we weren't sure how much longer we would have with my grandma, and I needed to show her Bali. The story goes with my grandmother, ever since I started losing my vision and started walking with a cane, my grandmother would always ask me when I was going to get my dog. When I walked with a cane for the first time around her, she tried out my cane and kind of huffed and then said, "When are you going to get your dog?" So it was super important for me to show grandma that I finally got my dog. And when I finally got my dog, she looked at me and she says, "You finally got your dog?" I said, "I did, grandma." And she says, "Why is she black?" And I said, "Because I wanted a black dog." And she says, "Oh." It was an amazing trip, and I loved it, and it was the last time I got to see my grandmother because less than 2 years after that, we did lose my grandmother at 107 years old, right before COVID hit. But I was able to go to her funeral, which was a great trip other than the funeral part. But my favorite trip, big trip, would have been going to California and seeing my grandma. My favorite routine activity, we've done this twice, but that was just because COVID hit and things got canceled, and so they haven't done it. But my favorite like routine thing that I started getting into every summer was the GDB Fun Day up at the Boring campus. This is for the puppies in training, but many guide dog handlers go. The first year we had a huge crowd of us. The second year I think there was just a couple of us. I go with Bali's second puppy raiser, and they go up there and they take their puppies, and it's just an awesome experience. It's a lot of fun. Both of them have been different themes. I get to see the campus in a different light than I saw it when I was training, and you're so overwhelmed during training. I got to see my trainer, and I got to see the supervisor of my class, who's not a supervisor anymore. But it was just a lot of fun, and it's a great way to show thanks also, I think, for the puppy raisers, because they get to see what a working guide team looks like. But then also kind of thanks to my trainer because each time I've watched her and I come up to her or I go by her and I hear her comment at, oh, that's one of my trainees. And it's a lot of fun. And we've gone twice. And I hope once COVID starts up and we get back to a more normal, that maybe there'll be a fun day in my future this summer. It is all outside or most of the way outside, so hopefully this summer we can go to GDB Fun Day again. One of my favorite local events is going to Christmas Storybook Land. Christmas Storybook Land is a local event near my house. It is a yearly event. This year is 45 years, which is just super awesome for this nonprofit. They put on an amazing Christmas event locally. This year it's being done a little bit different, but COVID, so I don't know if we'll actually be able to go this year or not, but we typically go with both puppy clubs that we're kind of associated with, the local one that I actually attend meetings and stuff, and then the one that is associated where Bali was partially raised, and they're kind of local, and they both come down, and it's always been a lot of fun, but I've volunteered there for years. I've played Mrs. Claus and elves and reindeers, and I've helped in the parade, and I've helped set up the event, and my daughters and I and Bali have helped throughout the event, and it's just a lot of fun. I love the message of it, and I love how it is a nonprofit putting it on. It is free to the community no matter how many times you walk through it. They're raising money for different organizations, and they are raising food for the food bank. I think it's just an overall amazing organization, and if you are local to me and you can go to Christmas Storybook Land, I would highly recommend it. One of my favorite activities that I ever did with people who have never been around a visually impaired person, and it was kind of an educational, but it was fun, was a group of women and I. There were, I think, 4 of us total. We went to McDowell Creek Falls, which is a local waterfall here not far from my house, and we went there, and there is walking trails, and then you get to see the waterfall from different angles. It is gorgeous. I have yet to go back, and I really wish I would. I think going and enjoying it when it wasn't spring and a little slippery might be better, but it was an awesome experience in general, educating these women on how to interact with me, how to help me, and problem solving with everybody to figure out the best way for me to do things. It was just an overall great experience, and we had a lot of laughs and a lot of, just bonding. I haven't spoken with any of these women since then, which is kind of sad. But it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of trust in Bali and I think it grew our trust even more than what we have now. Now, my other favorite multiple day event, I guess, sort of, was with Bali's original puppy raiser. We did this a couple years ago around Christmas time. They wanted to do something special with Bali and I. This would, I say, be our first like big outing that her and I did by ourselves. It would be the first night in a hotel that we spent by ourselves with no person sighted in our room. So I learned a lot about how to work independently in a hotel, which helped out at the NFB convention. We took a drive up into the Portland area, and we ended up going to a restaurant that they used to bring Bali to frequently. We ended up going and seeing a play. We ended up seeing A Christmas Carol, which was done very differently than I have ever experienced. It was a full sensory experience. When the chains would be banging on the ground, you could feel it. When there was cold air, they would open the door and you would feel it. When there was supposed to be fog in the air, you would see the fog. It was a full sensory experience, and it was just amazing. The production of it was amazing. When we got done with that, we ended up going into a hotel and staying the night at the hotel, which was our first overnight at a hotel. And then before I had to go to my eye doctor's appointment that day, we ended up going to a restaurant which had sentimental value to her puppy raisers, because while she was sitting in that restaurant with her granddaughter, she saw a person who was training a guide dog and said that she wanted to train another guide dog. She wanted to raise another guide dog puppy, and that would then become Bali, and that would be their last puppy. And it was just this amazing experience listening to the stories from them, really getting to know them even more than I thought I did. And they are amazing people, and they raised an amazing guide dog for me. And I can't thank them enough. I can't thank any of the puppy raisers enough for doing the job they do. Now, I know I have so many more adventures that I've done, but I feel like these are like the top 5 that I've done. I probably could pick out a couple more throughout our lives here, our 4.5 years together. Different experiences, different ways that Bali has touched me. But I just feel like these 5 fit a lot of different categories of things we've done, and they're my favorites. And I just finished the scrapbook for the last 4 years, 4.5 years almost, of our partnership, and it has been great to look through those pictures and to share those photos with others. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope if you celebrate Christmas, you have a Merry Christmas and a safe Christmas tomorrow. And I will catch up with you in a couple days.